Hey everyone, J-Rod Plays here, and I just want to put together a video today to clarify a few things on supercredit farming. I've seen a couple videos out there that have gotten a lot of popularity on supercredit farming, and while they are very helpful and they do explain specifically what to do, they leave out one major idea or one major thing that you need to pay attention to in supercredit farming. They can actually hurt players if they don't know this, or at minimum it'll make it to where you are inefficient. You don't actually get what you want. If you're going for medals, you're not necessarily going to always get the medals, and if you're going for any kind of super credit farm, you want to make sure that you find some place that's going to have enough super credits to support you spending hours doing this, because you don't want to just get a few hundred super credits an hour. You want to get, like, for example, me getting 700 super credits per hour. So just like they say on the video, you're going to still want to drop in. You're still going to want to pick a spot where you know there's going to be the first location, and you're going to scout this location going to a planet first, so that you know where all of the points of interest are, and you know that this is going to be a good place for you. And the reason why I mention that is because one of the big things that they don't mention is that whenever you're finding a planet, it doesn't matter if it's got like 5 or 6 or 7 points of interest, where a lot of people focus that, hey, you have a lot of points of interest here. What really matters is you know what's inside those point of interests, and that's where it gets interesting, for lack of a pun, that you know exactly what you're going to get. So just to prove it, I'm dropping down here, and I'm going to open up this container. This container is going to give me 2 things of super credits. As you can see here, there's super credit 1 and there's super credit 2. And so what I do normally is, as I'm blowing that up, I drop a jump pack, because it's going to help me in getting on top of this area here. And I drop the jump pack before I go down there to collect the super credits, so that by the time I'm up here, the jump pack is inbound and I just run straight by it. And I'll show a run like that here in a second. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to jump over this one. And as you'll see, this is going to actually also be super credits. And I know this because I've run this already. And so that's the big deal. That's the big change, is that people don't know that, and if they watch the videos that are popular, they're not going to know that this is predetermined. It's not random. The only thing that's random is maybe how much super credits you'll get. And sometimes you'll only get 10, sometimes you'll get 100. It's kind of random there. But, like, for example, this is not going to be super credits or medal. I believe this is just going to be like a stalwart. Yep, there it is, the stalwart, as you can see there. And I'm doing this live, by the way, so I don't know exactly what's going on. This one here is also a point of interest, and this point of interest is just going to be weapons. So if I was running this and I came over here every single time, I would waste my time, because it's just weapons. You got a flamethrower and an anti-material rifle. So what I would normally do in this circuit is I would run past everything, and I would go to the next section that I know there's going to be a area point of interest that's going to have something that I want. In this case, I was farming super credits here, and since I have 3 super credit locations on this particular planet, I was getting 30 super credits in maybe like 2 minutes, like 2 minutes and 30 seconds at the most if I was a little bit slow, and which is a lot. Like I said, that's going to end up being 700 plus super credits per hour if I don't get lucky and get the 100 super credit pop. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hit my escape button. I'm going to quit the game, and that's going to let me start back over again with this mission again, and I'll show you that live. And so now what I'm doing, as you'll see here, is I'm relaunching the game, and I'm just going to skip through the intro and go right to the ship. And the ship's going to place me in front of the map with the last mission that I played, so I can just go straight to the map, engage it, and then pick whatever I need to pick. And so again, I'm just going to hit this mission real fast, take off up the stairs, drop down, pick any stratagems. Not going to matter because you're not going to use any stratagems. You're doing this on trivial difficulty, which is what the other guides have suggested, because there's no enemies, and you're picking a place that's going to have a objective in the middle, and it's going to have a small area to choose from, so that you can kind of condense where all of the points of interest are. They're going to be right around these objectives in the middle. So illegal broadcast, what I'm doing now. There's plant the flag missions. There's kill the Bile Titan missions, as long as you stay away from the Bile Titan area. That or I think it's a charger on trivial that you can actually get in there and cover the bottom part of the map where all the points of interest are. And so the idea is, again, is to find a place where it has the point of interest of what you want. So if I drop down and I found like a nice balance between getting the medals and then getting the super credits, I would say, okay, that's a good one for me, because I want medals and super credits. And so I'm going to run around, find all the points of interest, kind of map them out in my mind, and then once I know where they are, I'm going to plan a route. I'm going to drop down to the closest point of interest where I know I want to start. I'm going to run that same route
There's
as
something
efficiently
here.
as possible, and I'll be able to swim pretty much in credits and medals. That way you don't have to worry about running like lower missions. Like if you happen to be not so adept at the game and you struggle a little bit on the higher difficulties, but you still want some of the cool stuff, you can actually take advantage of this yourself. And so you can skip all the points of interest that you know are going to be your waste of your time. As you see here, I'm running straight to my point of interest that I know where I'm going to get the other super credits for before I quit again. And you just keep doing that over and over again. You want to make sure you don't leave your ship back. You don't leave back to your ship,
Found
should I say. You
something.
have to quit the game so that you can still retain this particular adventure. If you actually quit the game, you're going to lose this mission and you're going to have to find a different mission. It's going to have different items where you don't want them. And so you just hit your back button or your escape button on whatever you're playing on, whether console or PC, and then you go to quit the game. Remember, do not return to the ship. This even's going to work if the planet is no longer active and you just happen to log out for the night from farming and you come back in. As you can see, Fori Prime is selected for me. I'm doing a mission for Fori Prime after it's been 100% liberated. Right now, for the day, everybody's doing the Oshan planet, or Ashuane, however you want to say it. And that planet is going to be the next one we unlock, which is going to take us to Omicron, which is then going to take us to the planet that we need to do the other Fort planet. And so I'm still launching this mission. As you can see, it's an illegal broadcast, and it's going to allow me to go back into it the next day, which is great because this mission was a very nice and balanced mission for me. I was actually getting medals and super credits fairly decently. I think I was getting 20 super credits per, and I want to say I was getting like 5 medals roughly between this particular run. And so that's another thing that you can count on is if you find a really good planet and you just maybe you have to go to work or you have to go to school and you're like, man, I'm going to lose this mission. The only way that you lose the mission is if you accidentally back out of it and see what like the new daily is, for example, and you let go of that mission's briefing. The moment you do that, then you have to find a new mission, of course. But as you can see here, when I first logged in for the day, I still had Fori Prime active. I was still able to go down there and I was still able to kind of lock in this mission. I was probably one of the only Helldivers on this planet, and I was able to still get into it even though the planet was liberated, which was great. And so I dropped down to a place where I knew I was going to be able to get what I wanted, drop my jump pack, and then I took off from there. So it's a really easy process. Anybody can do it with a little bit of time, a little bit of practice. You're going to get very efficient at it. And what you're going to be able to do, as you can see, I'm going to show an example that I've just today when I logged in, bought everything from the Superstore without ever dipping into my own super credits. I had like a little over 1,000 super credits before I started the day, and I was able to then still get all of the armors. I got the 2 armors. There's a really nice padded armor that's heavy, so you got 200 armor on that, and that one you can tank a lot of shots from the bots, and you can actually tank a pretty good amount of hits from the hunters on the Terminid side and the little small bots before you take any real damage, anything threatening where you're like, okay, I got a stim. And then the other option was a light armor that had the fortification trait, which was 50% explosive resistance, which is very helpful against bots. It can also be helpful if you run a team of an area where you've got teammates that drop a lot of stratagems and you're on the edge of the stratagems and you end up getting hit by those explosives. That's something that you want to try to run on the Terminid side, light armor with explosive resistance, so that you can live through your teammates' stratagems. And so I hope this clarification really makes a difference for you guys, or anybody who's watched this video and is able to say, oh, so that's why I wasn't getting as many medals as they were saying that they were getting, as these streamers and these YouTubers were saying, hey, I'm getting 500 medals an hour, 600 medals an hour, 700 medals an hour. And when I did it, I wasn't getting a whole lot, or I found a place that had a ton of weapons. And so I just picked another one and picked another one. You didn't realize that you can lock in the one that you like. If you find one that's like got a bunch of super credits, you can not finish that mission, quit out of the game, come back into the game, and you can keep that particular mission over and over again so you can get whatever balance you like. Like say, for example, you're trying to unlock something, like I'm trying to still unlock the Slugger on the main war bond. I can actually run around until I find a planet that's basically nothing but metals, and I can get 10 metals per run. And so instead of having to go and to grind out the higher difficulties, getting 6 metals, 7 metals, 10 metals for your 30, 40 minutes of time, here I can go run a circuit in 2 to 5 minutes, and get my 10 medals, and then I have a bunch of medals within an hour. And in that same 40-minute time frame, I'm getting way more medals than actually completing. And I know that like some people are a little salty of the fact that this doesn't help the cause because you're not actually completing these missions. But if you're on trivial and you complete the mission, it's really infinitesimally small, the amount of impact you're going to have on that day's troops progress toward liberating the planet. So it's really not making a big difference, and you're not actually putting yourself at a disadvantage of being in a higher difficulty that you maybe can't handle yet, because you still need to pick up items that everybody has, because a lot of people will post these hell dives, solo hell dives, group hell dives, and they've got all the gear already. They've been playing for a while. But if you're just getting started and you're new, which I like to help out new players, you're going to have a hard time finding a way to put together the medals and the requisitions for stratagems, and of course the armor that you get in the superstore. You're not going to be able to get that unless you can buy that. You have extra money. This way you save that money if you have time, and you can actually invest your time to make essentially 10 bucks in that hour's time. 10, well, really like an hour and a half time to make your 10 bucks. Then instead of going and spending 10 bucks that you earn somewhere else. So it just depends. And if you have more time than money, this is a great thing to do. If you have more money than time, well, then buy your super credits, right? Because you're going to make more money doing whatever you do for work. Now I'm going to let these runs play out, and that way you can kind of see me run back to back to back runs and kind of get an idea on how fast I'm doing these circuits, so that way you can practice them yourself. Good luck out there finding a planet that you like that has all the things that you need, whether it be requisitions, super credits, medals. Definitely be picky. Don't just take anything. Don't just take any planet, because you're going to want to make sure that you're investing the time that you're doing this and that you're running this, because it can get boring. So put on a video on your second screen if you have it, or on your phone, something in the background, throw some music on, just chill while you're doing this. Time will go faster that way, and you'll get all the requisitions that you need to unlock stratagems. You're going to get all the medals that you need to unlock the items in your war bond, and then you're going to be able to get super credits so that you can buy the new war bonds if you want the new war bond weapons, or buy items in the superstore. And in the end, you're just really building yourself up, like I said, so that you can dish out the maximum amount of democracy, which the new Shriekers are a whole nother deal. They're actually not too bad to deal with. I'm going to make a video on that soon as well, so you can kind of see what I did and how I handled that. So stay tuned for that video. It's going to be a short one. I'm just going to show some tips and tricks of what I did. Thanks very much for watching to the end as well. I appreciate all my new subscribers too. If you've subscribed for one of my Helldiver videos, I also make Destiny content and Destiny guides, so if you have a common game in that you play Destiny as well, you can check out my Destiny videos for new players, and then I also do encounter videos for current players that are going to take into account veterans and everything from there. So again, thanks very much for your time. I'll see you guys in the next video.